one of the biggest differences between me and Kirsten isn't just how we grew up or our views on money. It's that I actually have the ability to admit when I'm wrong. And so this video is evidence of me doing that. Are you happy now?
No, that's not what we discussed.
Well,
Cut.
Hey, we just wrapped up a road trip family vacation where we visited 3 completely different resorts in 3 different cities. We had so much fun that we decided, you know what, let's just make a video about it. Hey, what's up guys, I'm Julian.
And I'm Kirsten, and if you're new here, we are creators, authors, speakers, and personal finance experts. One thing we are not is travel vloggers, at least not yet, not officially. But we are all about inspiring better conversations about money, and we know too many people who only know how to take one type of vacation. You already know the one. It's the one that costs a fortune, wears you out, and leaves you wondering, was it really worth what you spent? And so if you've ever come home feeling like the math wasn't mathing, hopefully this video helps you think a little differently about vacation planning, because it doesn't always have to involve breaking out the passport, going to the other side of the world, or hopping on a cruise. There are ways to get exactly what you need with a road trip.
Now, I will admit, I haven't always been a fan of road trips, but over the years, and especially since we became parents, I have really started to enjoy and appreciate them.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, I grew up in New York, but my family is from Jamaica, so most of the vacations I experienced as a kid were going to visit them there. Now, when I would go, we would go to the beach, but we weren't staying in fancy oceanfront resorts. We would always stay with family. So even today, when I think about vacations, while I love getting away, I also love being in what feels like a home environment. So anytime I get to enjoy the best of both worlds, it just feels like it's worth the money to me.
Now, my family is from Texas, but I grew up in Georgia. And so for me, we definitely hopped on planes every once in a while, but we took a lot of road trips. I have always enjoyed them, and I wanted to make sure that our son got a chance to create his own road trip memories.
Yeah, now fun fact, my parents both worked in the hotel business. I spent a decade working in the hotel industry, and we actually met while working for a hotel company. Now between the two of us, we have stayed in a ton of hotels. And after a while, they all start to kind of just feel like the same thing. Now, we really wanted to experience something different. So for this road trip, we decided to stay at timeshare resorts. Now, I know what you're thinking, because most people only think about timeshares in terms of ownership. And yes, that works for a lot of folks, but the rest of us can still enjoy the properties and all the amenities by simply renting them when you want to. Renting is an option that gives families like ours a lot of flexibility without a long-term commitment. It also allowed us to enjoy that best of both worlds feeling I was talking about. We got all the amenities and fun things you'd expect at a resort, but we also got to enjoy the comforts at home, which was a huge perk.
So we actually started this trip just 25 minutes from home with a little staycation at Margaritaville Vacation Club in downtown Atlanta. It's located right across from Centennial Park, literally steps away from Skyview Atlanta, which is this giant Ferris wheel that's over 20 stories tall and gives you these panoramic views of the city. And I know it may sound strange, but starting local was exactly what we needed. When you have been ripping and running like we have, sometimes the best way to start a vacation is to ease into it. For us, the first day of vacation is typically the hardest to settle in and where we need the most breathing room. But baby, between the rooftop pool and them views, it gave us this feeling of being away without all the pressure of getting away.
Yeah, I was surprised by how much that reset helped. There was a lot to love about our stay, but I gotta say, the room was perfect. Not only did it give us options, but it felt like we were in a luxury apartment or a condo.
Yeah.
We had our own kitchen, glassware, fridge, real plates,
Yeah.
and room for us to just chill and store what we needed for the road. As a dad who was always juggling luggage to try to find space to eat, it made me realize that timeshare resorts can work even when you're close to home. Next stop was Westgate River Ranch Resort, which is about 2 hours outside of Orlando. And let me tell you, this one was a curveball in the best way. We stayed in a covered wagon, like a literal wagon, but instead of being dragged by horses, it had AC, a comfy bed, plenty of outlets for our devices, and enough room for all 3 of us. We got to do something totally new, but still slept well, ate well, and had everything we needed. It was just different, and sometimes different is exactly what you need to snap out of your routine.
Yeah, it was definitely an adventure, but I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed this experience. You know, Julian has been wanting to do something unique like this for a while, and I've been kind of like, you go first. But this was a great step in the right direction to outdoor living for me, because it was outdoorsy, but still manageable. It was nature, but not too much. They had this general store on site, so we were able to grab snacks and sunscreen without leaving the property. They also had restaurants, a really nice petting zoo, fire pits, a brand new water park that Bo loved. And I think being in that kind of space gave us the room to bond in a different way. We slowed down, we made s'mores, we weren't glued to screens, we were actually present with each other and fully in the moment. I think my theory is that because timeshares are designed for owners, they're able to offer these one-of-a-kind experience, which makes sense if you think about it, because when you know your guests are coming back, you design their experience with care. These places are built for people who actually spend time there, and so they have to think about comfort in a different way. And the result is something that you would never expect from a typical hotel who has people going in and out.
The last stop was Marriott Vacation Club Ocean Point, and pulling up here felt like an exhale. By this point, we'd been in the car a really long time.
A lot.
But there's something about waking up to the ocean that just resets your nervous system. Between the beach, the pool, and the breeze, it was giving full-on vacation mode. So we dove right in and started exploring. Our room had a full kitchen, so we could finish off our groceries and keep things simple. We had a washer and dryer in the room, which meant we didn't head home with a suitcase full of wet clothes.
Listen.
The way everything was set up, it made it easy to slow down and actually enjoy our last stop.
See, to me, this is where you really feel the difference between booking a place to stay and booking with a brand that you actually trust. We have rented homes from other third-party apps, and sometimes it works out, but sometimes you show up tired and hungry, only to be catfished because the owner knew just the right angles to make the place look better than it actually is. With Marriott, we didn't have to guess. The room looked just like the pictures, the service was consistent, everything just worked. And that's another benefit that people don't really talk about enough. Lots of timeshare resorts have partnered with well-known hospitality brands like Marriott, Wyndham, Hilton, and so you get the space, but it's backed by the standards of companies that do this every single day.
If there's one thing this trip reminded us, it's that road trips make so much sense for families, especially right now. When you're flying, you're building your day around someone else's schedule. But when you decide to take a road trip, you can leave when you want, take the scenic route, or just stop because someone sees something cool out the window. It didn't feel like we were racing against a clock the whole time, and that's what kept the trip fun. We also used the Road Trippers app to help plan stops and map things out, which made the whole thing feel a lot more doable, not like some big logistical puzzle.
Yeah, but I'll say this, how you travel is only half the story. Where you stay changes everything. When there's enough room to breathe, when you can cook something simple, toss a load of laundry in, or just close the door for 5 quiet minutes, it shifts the whole family dynamic because everyone's more relaxed. When no one's stepping on each other's shoes or on each other's nerves, you're actually enjoying each other and not just surviving the trip. And that's kind of the whole point, right?
Yeah. I'll also say, I know there's a tendency to overpack and bring everything you think you might need.
Guilty.
Just keep in mind, because it's a road trip, and especially if you're staying in a timeshare resort, you've got plenty of chances to pick up what you need along the way, and a real setup waiting for you once you arrive. You don't have to carry your whole life with you. Home away from home exists for a reason, and this really lived up to
that part. Look, we have given you lots of reasons why this road trip worked out so well for us, so I hope you took some notes. And even if ownership is not on your radar or a part of your plan, just remember that renting a timeshare resort is a great way to experience the perks without overcomplicating things. The bottom line is, if you're looking for a way to travel smarter this summer, don't be afraid to skip security lines, baggage fees, flight delays, and all the things that come with being on planes and in airports. If you can remember to choose to embrace simplicity in all things, your mind, your body, and your wallet will thank you for it.